Welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, Carla Perez is here.
Hi guys.
You can have the lovely sofa.
Okay, I got a whole sofa here.
Very comfortable. Welcome to the sofa.
Thank you very much.
How's Gent treating you?
Oh, Gent's wonderful. Yes, I've had a very nice welcoming, thanks to everyone, and especially Ranger Nation, Belgium.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful.
Oh, have you been to Belgium before? I like to ask everyone.
This is my first time in Belgium.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Have you got any more time here, or is it in and out?
Right now it's been in and out only because of the jet lag.
Oh, yeah.
But tonight we will stroll in the town next to the hotel. There's a castle there.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Oh, you did see it?
Completely by accident, I might add. It's like, oh, a castle.
Everyone was telling us we have to go take a stroll there. So
Yeah, it's lovely.
we can see a little bit of it from the hotel room. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Top tips? Any top tips for visiting?
Castle is a good one.
What?
Castle is a good one.
Castle. Yeah, just the castle, guys.
Yeah.
And don't forget to eat the Gent noses.
The what?
Gent noses.
Are they those jelly babies?
The jelly babies?
Yeah, we have some in the green room.
Oh, is that what those little pointy things are?
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter and I were looking at those. Can we have those? Are those candy? What are those?
They instantly hurt my teeth, so I assume they're good.
They're good, okay.
Oh, so sweet.
Now we know. They were a mystery for a moment.
Amazing. We will get into the work chat now. Otherwise, the audience will get angry at me. Where should we start? I wonder what you guys would like to hear about. So, could it be a little show called Power Rangers, maybe?
Power Rangers? Why would they want to hear about Power Rangers?
we all love it, and I'm very excited. I'm as excited as these guys, but I'm trying to act cool. It's one of those shows that has gone so long and is so loved that I'm generally a little bit. Oh wow, that makes a real difference. Because you obviously live with this day to day. How is it being like such a big part of that lore?
Wow, for me, it's kind of new in a way, because when I was filming the Power Rangers, that was 25 years ago when we first started. And all of you were little kids, so we didn't meet you then. We couldn't, because you were children. So we're kind of late in the game to meet all the fans.
Oh, so is this quite recently?
Recently, in the past, well, for me, for the past 3 years, I've just begun meeting all the fans. Because now you're older, you can come out and meet the people you grew up with, on television. And before, when they were children, it was, I don't know if parents didn't do that back then, or drive their kids around to be their celebrities. But yeah, it's fairly new, but the whole experience is just the most wonderful thing, because the fans are amazing. I had a great welcoming. They gave me gifts and all that, and tell me the stories of when they were little children and watching Power Rangers. So I never get tired of it. It's just amazing.
It's one of those things that, like you say, we all grew up with it.
Yes.
And I think the main thing for a lot of us is you are the baddie that we all, as soon as you say Power Rangers, because the Power Rangers have been through, I don't even know, I'm sure these guys can tell me so many incarnations, and you're the one that, you and Zed are the ones that everyone always comes back to, whenever it's touted as anything new, it's like, are they going to be there? Are they going to be there? Because you were even, excuse me, you were even in the James Van Der Beek reboot, weren't you?
That's right.
Which is incredible. I was so amazed by what a good job that was.
Yeah, I did not realize when I signed up for it what it would be, what it would actually be with all the how should I say this?
It's quite dark.
Adult material.
Yeah.
It was originally to clarify, it's not for children.
Yeah.
Not at all for children. I don't know if you may have
100% no.
Yeah, because but it is for the children back then that have grown up
That's the
It's
interesting
exactly
thing,
what it's
isn't
for,
it?
yes.
Seeing that sort of
Because
translate.
they're all adults now.
How did you, just because there's always, even recently when they rebooted it, there's always that tout now, there's like a trend for that sort of dog reboot.
Right.
Because I know a lot of, like we've had people who've worked on different Power Rangers at other Comic Cons, and most of you guys are quite against it. You're like, it's for kids, and it should be for kids.
We have a lot of fan base, that's how
Yeah.
they believe in that. But for this particular fan film, it was made by Joseph Kahn is the director, and Adi Shankar is the producer. Now, Adi Shankar is one of the biggest Power Ranger fans.
Oh, really?
He grew up with Power Rangers, and his collection is extensive. I'm sure there would be a lot of envy here if you did see his collection. But this was a project he wanted to get going, so he met up with Jason Vanderbeek. And Vanderbeek liked the idea, so they went ahead and collaborated, and that's how they came up with that whole fan film.
They did such a good job on it. It's
Yeah.
like proper Hollywood
Oh yeah,
level.
it was a
effect.
very big budget, and he's used to producing big films with Liam Neeson and all that. So he knew that he wanted this to be the same caliber of type of film. So he put everything into it, and the outcome was amazing. But his thinking of it was, he did not want it to be for children. He wanted to know what happened, what really happens to the Power Rangers when they grow up and society has forgotten about them because they're no longer teenagers. So although it was pretty dramatic and quite out there, it's what he wanted to present.
It's a way, again, like it's one of those that we all love the Power Rangers, but there is that part of you that, when you take that adult line to it, you are quite excited seeing that start reboot, and again, I think it's just, you could definitely go to Netflix with that, definitely. But it's like you say, you split your fan base, because they're still so popular with new generations of kids. Like my friends all have kids, and they're always playing Power Rangers.
And I'm sure it would have been a big controversy because I think the plan was to maybe make a full feature film.
Oh, really?
But there were some issues, copyrights and things like that. But he was still fine with just having that short film.
It's great. But I mean, that was the other thing. Came just before the new reboot.
Yes, exactly.
Which your reaction to costume is infamous now.
I think maybe it came out at the wrong time because Saban and Lionsgate did come out with that other film, but it was intentions were just to put it out there and give it to fans, and maybe in the future a feature film, but legalities, I don't think it's possible.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Like you say, you've been there since, was it season 2 you came on because they needed a baddie who could interact with actors?
Something like that. Well, originally I came on to make the US footage because the Japanese footage was only limited, and as soon as that ran out, I believe the idea was to have an American Rita. So that's when I came in.
How was that stepping into? Because it was such an odd way of working from the outside, like to take footage from a show and then build around it. Right.
Well, Saban, he's a very, very intelligent man, and what he did, he bought all the rights to the old Super Sentai footage, or I'm not sure if he bought all of it, but he has the rights for it. So what his imagination was to just bring it to the U.S. but Americanize it with American teenagers. But yet he had all this footage of monsters and villains that he could just bring from the old footage and integrate it to a new storyline with American teenagers. And I mean, it's brilliant. It's still around today. So that's how that came about.
How did it evolve from there? Was it always that sort of work method, or did it change the further into it that you got?
Yes, of course. Further into it, there's only so much footage you can take from an old series and integrate it to a new one. But he made it work for several seasons.
Yeah.
And now I think most of the monsters and the villains are completely American.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, you know what? They do film in New Zealand.
Yeah, I read that. I read they do a lot. But I guess that's for the landscape, isn't it?
Yeah, right now it's Nickelodeon. It plays on, I really don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure who exactly is in charge of it.
I think it's different in the US
Yeah.
to the UK, so it'd be,
Yeah, it would be different. So I'm not sure if they're American monster made or it's made in New Zealand, but I'm assuming all the props and things are there, so I'm sure majority of them must be made in New Zealand.
Yeah. I think I read they have, a base in New Zealand where they do all that, and then they do a lot of the studio work over it. Is it LA that you guys, where is it?
Where we filmed not exactly LA, but it's the next county over, which is Ventura County. I don't know if you've heard of.
I drove through it last year.
Yeah, well, you know Magic Mountain, I believe you call it Six Flags.
Yeah.
There's a Magic Mountain, Six Flags Magic Mountain, right across the other side of that freeway. We had a Saban Studios there, and that's where we filmed Power Rangers.
Oh, nice. One thing that I'm generally fascinated about, because obviously your daughter's with you at the moment.
Yes, my daughter's here.
I love how she's wearing a t-shirt with you.
She's representing.
Yeah, she's on brand. Is she a fan of the show, or is it?
It's funny that you mentioned my daughter, because when she was little, I don't know if she understood the whole concept, but I don't think she liked the fact that I was Rita because I was mean.
I was going to say,
So
it's
she kind of held it away from her classmates and stuff, and then little by little, then she noticed, oh wait, some people actually like Rita. So then she started talking about it, and then the next thing you know, her teachers know about it, her friends know about it, and so now I think she likes it. So she started, a few years ago, she began watching all the shows on Netflix. So she's well-versed in the Power Rangers now.
Which team is she on?
Rita. She has to be with Rita. She has to be, so.
Yeah, it's great that she gets that opportunity
It's
to watch
funny,
it
though.
from your perspective.
Yeah, it's funny because when I take her with me, people say, "Oh, that's Rita the making."
Yeah.
Rita.
It's so fun. But yeah, I mean, like say your daughter's watching them all now, and they're on Netflix. Like, so that's the other thing. There's, like you said before, there's a new generation who are going to end up going through what these guys now experience, where they grow up and it becomes something like really precious to them. Do you find that quite overwhelming, or are you just really happy? Or?
It makes me happy, really, because it fascinates me how a somewhat simple idea can really capture such a big audience, an international audience, and it just shows you that we're all the same no matter where we're from, and it just makes me feel good. It's a good feeling, yeah.
Like you say, you are quite new to meeting the fans like these guys. What's the thing that they always seem to come back to with you? Is there the one thing that they are like, oh, thank you for this, or is it the characters in general?
Gosh, I'm not sure. What was the most? Oh, the question I'm always, did you really have a headache? Or, it's just, what they really want to know is, how was it filming, how was it filming, and did you enjoy it, I think the whole mystery behind it is what captures people.
Yeah.
And,
because you would have had, I'm just thinking back, because you would have had pretty much a lot of one-set shoots, wouldn't you, where you were just, because you were always observing.
So if you go back, I'm always like on the moon or in the palace or the castle on the moon watching over the Rangers. So I was on another sound stage, unless we meet up at the park and I'm terrorizing them. But otherwise we're on a sound stage that is basically at the palace, or right outside of the palace where there's like a moon background. But usually that's what it is. And then there was a park and a forest and a desert area we'd go film when we meet up with the Rangers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like? Because again, a lot of your scenes that I remember early on, you're the only one who has a human face in the scene.
That's the thing, that's funny.
So what's that like acting with people who are generally just in massive costumes?
Well, especially like Zed or, you know, the Minions like Finster and everyone, Goldar, they had to overdo it because, you know, of course they have no, their faces are covered, so you can't see them.
Are they still talking? But it's just a bit.
Well, yeah, they're talking. It's hard to hear them, but they, you know, to say your lines, you have to talk just so you can get into character. Yeah, but I mean, they worked it out, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, we liked it. What's this? Because this will get asked if I don't ask it. What's the sort of turnaround with costumes like that? Is it a big makeup job for you and those guys who?
For the costumes were basically made to just be worn. They didn't have any other special addition to it. It's just the costume. So a lot of the costumes were original from Super Sentai. So they all came with the whole agreement with the footage and everything. My costume was, of course, the costume, but I also had to do the makeup and to put the whole costume, which included like the dress, the headpiece, the collar, the chest plates, the petticoats, stockings, shoes, makeup, jewelry.
Classic.
And so that whole process took about 2 to 3 hours in the
That's not
morning.
that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah. Well, it's not bad until, you know, they tell you, you gotta come in at 4:30 in the morning to be ready for 7 for filming, so.
Yeah, well, when you put it like that, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Did you get lucky? Was it a light headpiece, or were you one of those people where you're like, I can't move my neck?
Yeah, luckily I was very young, so I could handle it back then, but the headpiece was pretty heavy, because, like I said, the costumes were made back in the 80s from the original series.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say original series because it's a different storyline, but back from Super Sentai. And that the material they used were nothing like they have now. Everything was heavy.
Yeah.
I was telling one of the Ranger Nations today that they were made like with a dense rubber, and the same with the helmet. The helmet was metal, so it wasn't lightweight. So it was hard to move that thing. And when I first began playing Rita, I would not take off the headpiece.
Really?
I would be in it the whole time I was there on set. And I got smart because I was getting I was getting neck pain, and we had a masseuse there, luckily, that would help us. But after a few episodes, they were saying, well, you know, you could take it off in between scenes, so I did that. That helped a lot, because I think if I would stay in it for maybe a half hour, I was okay, and then I'd take a break, because it was just too heavy.
Fair enough. I am going to open the floor for questions, because you guys will definitely have some. So if you've got a question, raise your hand, and yeah, we'll straight away. So.
What's the most fun memory you have about Power Rangers or filming Power Rangers?
Of filming? Oh, that's so tough, because really every day was just the best time, you know. When I first got Power Rangers, I had only did a few maybe commercials, and I had another show going on at the same time, but the way the set was, it was like you were in Disneyland, because you had all these different characters, monsters, and it was just like you really were in another world. Well, yeah, because I was on the moon, but you know, all these characters that you normally would never see. So it was a great pleasure to see that, because you're in a fantasy land. So you really are playing all the time. But I think maybe my funnest period was when everyone was together at the wedding. That was an experience when I married Zed. Because all the monsters are there. All the monsters are there. So we had a great time, yeah. I would say the wedding.
Do you have a favorite monster?
At first, that's funny, because it was the eye monster. He was at the wedding.
Nice.
Because one of my experiences with it when we were at the wedding, we were filming with the eye monster, and there was one scene where I look at him, and I guess he gives me a wink with his many eyes, and so I wink back, and he was like, oh, and one of his eyes popped out, and it rolled down into the on the ground, and so that was a classic scene. But yeah, maybe the monster, eye monster. I also like the purse monster.
Yeah.
The purse monster, because I mean, who's gonna have a purse monster? But it worked out.
Crazy
Yeah.
designs. It's incredible.
Yeah, there is the brick wall monster. It's like, how did you come up with this? A pita monster?
Just that specific one, just staring at a brick wall, thinking I've got to build a monster. What can it be? Oh, amazing. Any other questions, Richmond? Yes, sir.
Power Rangers was a huge success. How did it impact your social life when they knew you were on Power Rangers?
Oh, wow. You know, when I began filming, it didn't really impact it too much. Not much, because I was in my early 20s, and my friends didn't know what Power Rangers were because, you know, they're not children. So it wasn't, it didn't impact my life that much then, but now it does, because my peers are, why are you so popular with all these young people? And so and I said, well, just look on social media, you'll get it. And they go, oh, yes, I remember Power Rangers. And, you know, some of them have children. They go, we didn't know you were Rita. Because I had a lot of makeup on. I go, yes, that was me, I told you. So now it's funny among my friends, because they're like, wow, you know, all these young people. I go, yeah, because they're very, very big Power Ranger fans. And, you know, Power Rangers is known everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still surprises me now. I learn about all the other countries that it's in. And also, I was speaking to a few people about the languages that Power Rangers is voiced over in. Like we were saying about how it's in Portuguese and Spanish, German.
Are they straight dubs from the American one then? Or do they?
No, they're voiced over. Well, some countries are voiced over with the language of wherever it's being broadcast, and then a lot of them are subtitled in the language.
But there's no other sort of how the American one works where there's no other actors.
No, there's no other actors. It's just it's basically just voiceover or subtitled.
Oh,
yeah.
Amazing. Any more questions? Don't be shy.
Yes.
I noticed that every scene, the voice and video didn't sync. What's the reason with that?
I think it may be, I'm not sure. I know from originally when the footage from Japanese footage, they had to be voiced over. It's hard to sync Japanese into, well, a Japanese language where your mouth is moving in Japanese to English, so it has that old-fashioned kind of feel to it. Maybe they were trying to keep that, or maybe it was just too difficult to voice it over exactly to where the mouth is moving. But I think it works, though. It did have that certain feel to it.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question. You might know the answer, you might not. You guys might know the answer. Why did you keep attacking Angel Grove?
Why did I keep tagging it over?
Why do you go, you know what, I'll attack the one place my enemies are?
That's a good question. I don't even know that. But I think what it is, it's one of those things when you fail, you keep getting up and trying it again until you succeed. But she never won. At least one time.
Yeah, at least once. I mean, if she'd sort of gone, you know what, I'll just attack a really small town in Texas. Be like, yes, and I'll branch
Should
out.
have been another little town somewhere, Texas.
Yeah.
Or Belgium.
Was there,
Gent.
Ranger Nation, can you think of anything? Was there a reason ever given why it was always Angel Grove?
No,
No one knows. I'm going to Google that straight after this.
Well, it was the teenagers that had the PowerPoints. They were the only ones that had
Was she after
She
the
was after
PowerPoints?
PowerPoints.
Oh, there you go. Now it'd be easy to get them because you just distract them with social media.
There you go.
What an episode of Power Rangers. We does a really good social media campaign. I'd watch that. Any more questions?
Hi.
The question I have is that are they gonna rerun the original Power Rangers anytime soon or not?
Oh.
Because I grew up with the original Power Rangers on TV,
Yeah.
and I'm searching every single day to find the discs. Yeah.
The DVDs.
Yeah, DVDs. Are they gonna put them on DVDs, the originals, anytime soon, or is it like we run it once and then we're gonna just move along with new stuff?
I don't know. That would be nice to have them back on DVD. I've signed a few, but I'm not sure if those DVD collections are from back then.
Amazon.
Oh, they are on Amazon. New reprint? Or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
of the original. Oh,
Oh, right.
so they do have it.
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good to know.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's a good
You can
question.
take commission from that now.
Oh. Yeah, I've signed a few of the, they come in like a collection box and they have all the seasons in them.
Oh.
Right.
I bet there's quite a few in this room already who've got exactly those. Yeah, yes sir.
Any future plans? Not Power Rangers, but acting or...
Yes, well, it's funny because when I started visiting the Comic-Cons, I've been getting so many offers to do different films, so I'm going back into acting now, and there's a few more scripts that I'm reading. I would like to do some more filming, so we'll see what happens. I've filmed a few things, but right now there's a movie that I'm reading which seems pretty interesting. I think I like it. It's more on the horror side of film. So, but I play like a psychic, but there's a big twist at the end, and it should be fun. I would like to talk about it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And here are all the plot details.
There's some evilness like her, but
Is it an international movie?
it's an indie film, but I have a feeling there's going to be a bigger backing. So we'll see.
I mean, it's in filmmaking nowadays. You can, yeah.
There's so much you can do with the technology we
Yeah.
have now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not as difficult to get your film done than it was before.
Yeah, I mean, cameras like that
Yeah,
are
you see.
better quality than 15 years ago.
You probably have a film right now you're doing, huh? You see?
Yeah, of course they is. Do you find that when you do get approached to stuff, are you ever typecast? Like, you do get that evil sort of, we know you.
I don't know what is it. Do I look that evil?
No, I think it's one of
I
those
have
things.
that look where I'm gonna get you. Yeah,
don't
I
guess.
do get typecast a lot.
Oh, really?
And people approach me and I was like, there's this witch in my story, I want you to play her. Or there's this evil queen, you need to play her. Or it's always evil, or she's got some bad intentions. It's like, oh yeah, I know.
If you could pick a role, because this is always fascinating, is there anything that you'd like to, either a type or a film that already exists, what role would you jump into?
Oh, I would have loved to do something like Maleficent when it came out. I really loved that.
So another evil witch.
And not another evil person. But that was a good role. But right now, I would love to do something more dramatic, as far as like a tragedy type role. Not evil, but more something where you have more compassion for her.
Yeah.
Because Rita is like, you love to hate her. Or not, maybe you love her just because she's evil.
I think you warm to her though, the more you see her. Like
Yeah,
there is something redeemable in her, even though she's supposed to be.
She never gives up. You can say that, she never gives up.
Never give up, always attack Angel Grove.
Yes.
Any more questions in the audience?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How many ones did you broken because you had to
You know, that's so funny because what we're talking about, how the material was made, that one was original. And that was one heavy piece. It was made out of rubber, so it never broke, no matter how many times
Just
I
bounce
threw
back
it.
at you.
And yeah, someone was asking me about that because I was thinking of getting it remade, and I saw it's in an office. I think the old Saban office back in LA. It's sitting there in the office. But Jason David Frank took a picture with it, and you see it now. It's still intact, but it's warped. It's no longer a perfect circle.
really?
It's kind of like an oval, but it's still intact. It's just warped a little, but the material is pretty good that it's been made out of since the 80s. That's a long time, 30 years.
People always want this question as well, and I'm generally always fascinated by this. Have you got anything that you took away from the set with you?
And that's the question. Every time that question comes up, I regret that I should have
stolen all.
I should have took something. And it's funny, had I known people were taking things, I would have done it. I would have taken something, maybe the helmet or the staff, the chest plate, something. I would have taken something, even a ring, but I didn't take anything. I was too honest back then, too young, and I didn't know that.
So she is a good role model. She'll try and destroy the world, but she won't steal.
Exactly. But then I found out some of the Rangers took their coins and gloves and helmets, I think.
Just lounging around in them at
I
home.
would have loved to have done something like that.
Any more for any more? Yes, sir.
What's your favorite Power Ranger?
Oh, come on, that's the green and the pink, when they were evil.
When they're bad. We've probably got time for maybe 2 more questions if there are anyone, if there is anyone even, out there with a question. Have you got a little question, little Power Ranger?
Aww,
I just saw you, you're very...
How are you?
Just a couple of little Power Rangers.
I like your Power Ranger outfit.
Oh, I don't think she understands us.
Oh.
She's thinking.
Oh, she's thinking about
She
it.
doesn't have to. You both look great.
Yes, very
good.
nice.
Oh. Any more questions in the audience? Yes, fine.
Can you still do the Rita voice?
I could do her. Why?
Oh, I didn't want to ask. Do you get to ask to do it a lot?
All the time. But I scare a lot of people.
God damn it.
Say the opening of the team.
Of the team?
Yeah.
Which opening?
After 20,000 years.
After 10,000 years, I'm free!
There we go. Oh, that must have hurt your voice every day. Ladies and gentlemen, if there are no more questions, you have one job, you know what it is. We're very grateful you're here, Carla. Everyone?
Thank you.
Take a leave. You're here for the rest of the day, I assume?
Yes, I am.
Please go talk to her, get your photos.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, one more big round of applause. We are back for the cosplay group photo very shortly.